So, lots to talk about. One thing I have to ask you is because I think it was just yesterday I was reading online about a Martin O'Neill interview when he spoke about the time he substituted you too early and you went nuts. And he said, I think he said it was the first time he was genuinely frightened that one of his players was going to stick one on him. Is that how you remember it?
Well, that was never going to happen. Obviously Martin's 30 years older than me, so I was never going to do that. But no, we used to have a couple of ding-dongs, me and Martin, but, the winner every time was the gaffer. I remember the game, actually, we played Motherwell in a semi-final at Hampden, and it was a pretty close game. It was the pitch was boggy, like it normally is. It was raining, it was lashing down one night, and the conditions were awful, which made it a really tough game. Normally we could go on 1, 2, 3, but for some reason the conditions probably suited Motherwell, not being disrespectful on the night. But around about the 70th minute or so, the ball was played into me. I held a couple of defenders off, and Sean Maloney made a great run across me, and I just slid him in there. Sean went on, scored the goal, so I'm all delighted I've made the goal. And the crowd are away, half the crowd at Hampden obviously make a big noise there. And then so we go 1-0 up. I look across to the bench and I'm thinking, I've made the goal, I'm all right, I'll get my own little bit of goal in a minute, I'll score myself. So Martin's like that, well, the substitute referees like that, number 10. So I'm thinking, I can't believe it, I've made the goal, so as I'm walking off the pitch, I'm raging. For some reason, the game didn't go particularly well, and I just had this head on me, and so I knew Martin used to like, when he substituted you, I knew he used to like you to go and sit next to him, and
just for a week of a debrief or whatever.
Shake his hand and obviously accept that you've come off, accept that he's made the right choice. I wasn't having it this particular night. So Stevie Walford, one of the assistant managers, threw me like a jacket. Normally you sit on the bench, put the jacket on, keep nice and warm. So I knew he wanted this. So as Stevie Walford threw the jacket at me, I sort of threw it back. And everybody sort of looking. And I walked straight down the tunnel. I never went and joined them on the bench. So I go in the dressing room, and there's a plate of tuna and mayonnaise, tomato and egg, onion and whatever. And I was so sort of lost the plot. So I grabbed a plate of sandwiches and I just went smashing them up against the wall. Water bottles, oranges, Gatorade. I totally lost the plot. So Henrik Larsson, I think he had a new like a white shirt on, and there was a bit of tomato and onion on his shirt. So I'm thinking, what's worse, having to face Henrik or the wrath of Martin? Just sitting on a brand new pair of shoes on. He had a bit of tuna on one of the So anyway, the game finished, and Martin came in. All the lads have come in. They're all high-fiving. Yes, what a win! Really hard game, but tell you what, lads, we got through it. We're in the final. We're in the Scottish Cup final. So I'm sitting there like a spoilt kid, like a spoilt baby. So when it all calmed down a bit, Martin's come over, and he's gone, "What's wrong with you, John? What's the matter with you?" And I went, I said, "What do you take me off for?" I said, "It's always me." I said, "You're always taking me off. Take somebody else off for a change." And nobody really spoke to Martin like that. But for some reason that night, I got the ump. And so he looked at me and he said, "Look, John," he said, "every now and again," he said, "you've got to run around a little bit." He said, "Tonight, son, in the 72nd minute, you just weren't moving, son. You were just completely standing still. So I had to take you off." So what do you say to that? And then what was funny enough was we were like in each other's faces for a while, and it completely spoilt the win, really, because everybody was quite subdued after that. So we got on the bus, and it should have been a celebration night, but with me and my antics and my stupidity. So John Robertson came up to me and he went, "John, just go and apologise in the morning. Knock Martin's door when we come in tomorrow and apologise." I said, "I'm not apologising. Not apologising. What have I done? I've not done nothing." So anyway, I come in the next day and I thought, right, okay, I'll go and apologise. So I walked in and I knocked Martin's door like that, and I'm looking through the window. He's on his phone. He's on his phone talking to somebody, and I thought, I'll leave it then for a while. So I knocked again, and he went, come in. And as I walked in like that, he looked at her and he went, get out. So I shut the door behind me. Martin, being Martin, played me on the Saturday, and that's when he was good, Frank, because no matter if you'd had an argument with him, or if you fell out with him, or did something that he wasn't happy with, to the detriment of winning the game, he'd play you. Martin wouldn't just leave you out if you had a big role in helping him win a game. So he's very clever like that, you know, and he was fantastic. But that was one of the few times really that I fell out with him, and there was only one winner.
I've got to ask. Sorry, go on.
When I played, I felt I like managers that have an argument with you, and then it's finished.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, they don't go on, you know, like some of the managers I played, like Louis McCarry with Todd grudges. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. But big, you know, the gaffer, Big Bully, John Lyle, I mean, they tell you straight, and as you say, there's only one winner.
I think you work with the managers. Of course. I think if you're doing a business for them, in general, they'll let you off with certain things and that, you know. Martin could rule with a stick. He could be really, really strict, make you feel like that, couple of words. And other days then, you know, he'd be fantastic with you, he'd praise you, he'd say, you're the best player today, he'd get you in on a Monday morning, put his arm around you. He never quite let you into when you played with him, but obviously now we're great friends. Sure. You know, we speak he comes up and plays in my golf day every year, and we're really good friends. I didn't stop scoring goals for Celtic. I had a year out with 2 back operations. But you know, like you think about players now, they go 5, 6, 7 games without a goal. That never happened to me. No. It never happened to me. You know, it was always I was scoring, and I scored 110 goals in the best part of 4 and a bit seasons, because I missed the best part of 10 months. If I hadn't scored them goals, I would have been in the team. Sure. It's quite simple. Yeah. You know, because I wasn't the fittest, I wasn't the lightest, I wasn't the quickest. You know, but I could score. I could score. I knew where the ball was going to land. I anticipated, and I had a fantastic goal scoring record at Celtic. So who knows? I don't really think back about that now. I just think how lucky I was to sign for a club like Celtic under Martin O'Neill and Gordon, and play in that team, obviously, that I played in. And going back to would things have been the same? My in-laws live up in Fort William, right? So there's one particular day, my mother-in-law is a big Celtic fan. And I was up there one day, and we were having a bit of lunch with the kids. So we were all round the table, and my wife is sitting there as well, and we're all there. So my wife said to me, "Oh, John," she said, "you know, what would it be like?" She said, "if you signed for Rangers." My mother-in-law, she's only about, like, I don't know, she's just down there. And she said, "I wouldn't be cooking him bloody dinner, I know that." And it just come out like that. I thought it was brilliant, you know.
That season, the Seville season, and obviously injury affected that for you and so on. But I mean, do you look back at that and realise that? Do you think that was maybe the peak of your career, or I mean, how good was that O'Neill team?
Well, I was 28. I was centre forward for Wales, and Giggs, Hartson, Bellamy, under Mark Hughes, playing regular, 50-odd caps, involved in all the European Champs, World Cup qualifiers. Unfortunately, we never made a major tournament, but I was 28 playing for Celtic, and they say between the ages of 27 to 30,
that's your peak.
That's your peak. You know, that's your peak, because you've got all that experience behind you. You know how to play. I knew how to work that penalty box. I knew how to peel onto centre halves and head it back. I knew when to go around the back to score. You got all that experience. You got 3 or 4 games under your belt. If you can't hit your prime by the time you're 28, 29. And that Seville year was fantastic. We beat some great teams. You know, the Liverpools and the Celta Vigos, the Stuttgarts. I could go on, Boavistas. But unfortunately, I missed the final. I played in 12 out of 13 games of that particular competition. Flying, scoring, making an impact, my Vigo goal, my Liverpool goal. Everybody was, in a fantastic moment. We had momentum. We get to the final and I find out I need a back operation. If it had been my calf or my thigh or anything, I could have just took an injection or I just got on with it. But with your back, everything goes through your back. Yeah. And I burst a disc. And I knew within about 3 or 4 weeks before that I wouldn't miss the final. But the crazy thing was, I was on my 25th goal when we came back to Ibrox from Boa Vista on the Sunday.
That was a beach ball Sunday, wasn't it?
There you go. And we won 2-1. I won a penalty for Alan Thompson. Amaruso brought me down. And then I scored the second goal. We won 2-1. Yeah. So that was my 25th goal of the season. And then when we came back from Seville, we had another 6 or 7 games to play. And I couldn't feature. And we lost that league title by 1 goal.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you think about it, I would have definitely added to my tally. Yeah. So it all sort of conspired against me. The whole thing just went, I don't know what I'd done, do you know what I mean, to deserve that. But there you go, these things.
But